What's your Corona face? We're recording.
It's recording. We're live from the 305.
Wait, is 305 here?
No, it's in Miami.
Oh, hey.
We ain't there. They got coronas.
They got coronas everywhere. Welcome to
back.
To a podcast about nothing with V
and AT.
Hey, y'all.
This is for fun. I don't know how y'all do this shit. I can't breathe.
Look, I took mine off before we even started. But look, we got what's the name ones? Hey, yo, tell you.
So
I just want to
because I
roll
feel stupid,
roll
I'm gonna let y'all know y'all look stupid.
You know what?
Like I feel stupid, y'all look stupid. Hey, we even.
Y'all just wearing those just for fun, like.
Cause who's breathing?
Look,
what type of air are you breathing in?
Right, and y'all don't even have on the right ones.
And I used mouthwash this morning, and it was still hot in there.
Okay. Hot breath. Okay, hot breath.
Ooh, technical difficulties.
People walking around in the studio. As you guys can see, we are in a dungeon. Why are we in a dungeon? Because Corona is everywhere.
It's outside, y'all. It's outside.
Yeah, I seem to be the only one in my family that's freaking out.
She sure is. Freaking out.
What's your Corona face?
That's the beer. Staying in the house.
I'm scared. Yeah, I'm terrified.
Yeah, she is. She's a little paranoid, but you have every right to be, though. You have kids.
I do, and I'm not afraid for all my kids. You know, some of them are cool. They can get it.
Nah, you scared for all your kids.
No, not really. I'm not scared for Thomas and Jaden.
But you ain't let Jaden go outside.
Because I'm afraid she's going to bring it back in.
Scared for your kids.
No. If Cooper didn't have breathing problems, then
she can
go outside. And I have no issue with that. Because I'm afraid she's going to bring it back in the house. And because I know that she's dirty, then... It's like, just kidding.
Like mother, like dog. Just like,
I mean, I shower. Ooh, go ahead, tell the people.
She been bathing, y'all. She been bathing. She been spending that 20 minutes. In the
but
shower.
I figured it out. You can't bathe in the middle of the day. You either have to do it really early in the morning or at night.
Yeah,
and especially when you have kids, because this is all you hear. Mommy, can I? Mommy, I need mommy. Mommy, I want mommy. Mommy, leave me the hell alone.
Hey.
I don't want to talk to you no more. So yeah, that's a jam.
The mommy song. I like that. We're gonna have to put that on the track.
We are. We actually probably have a whole mixtape.
By this time, yeah.
Yeah.
Just give us the titles, y'all. We need y'all help.
Producers. We know a few.
We need y'all.
We need them beats. So today we talking about Corona.
COVID-19. Is it COVID or COVID?
Hey,
Corona. That's what it is. They coming up with new scientific names and ain't got no scientific cure.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the fears that I have. We're going to talk about what you guys are doing, what we're doing, during this.
Our thoughts, opinions.
Yeah, quarantine time, young and YOLO-ish versus, afraid and scared.
Naked and afraid. Yeah.
Really naked and afraid. I am.
I'm saying, we have two different views on what's happening. It's funny how people's brains work, but they're interesting, and I feel like because of how serious that it has been to the people, that our views are interesting, because I pretty much heard both sides. Like, people aren't leaving the house, and then there's people like, I'm going to the club. What? If I get it, that's it. Hookah mommy. Like, they don't care. I'm not going to the club. I'm just saying, people aren't scared.
I have a feeling you wouldn't go to the club regardless, though.
I mean, I don't mind the club, but I don't like being out for a long period of time. So if I'm out and then somebody sneezes or something. See, I'm wary of stuff like that because people play too much.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what irritates me. Like, what's the basketball play? Utah. Corona's in Utah. But they were playing with it. Like,
why are you mad at the Utahns?
Because what's happening? Like,
yeah, true.
The Jazz, and two of y'all out there?
Yeah.
In Utah. So I just like how he was touching on everything. If you saw him in the conference
playing is so inconsiderate.
That's what it's like. Okay, now y'all being ignorant. We ain't say we got to be ignorant. We just don't have to live in fear.
Yeah, true. And my thing is, I am fearful of ignorant people.
And everybody's ignorant in my eyes. So
we know. And I'm a Sagittarius, you know, like
that.
Right. I do risky crackhead shit anyway. So like, hey, I'm about to get it. But so for me to be fearful, you know, because I was very optimistic about the whole thing at the very beginning. I was like, you know, we can't live in fear. Who cares? Da-da-da. Then they started talking about the respiratory system. I was like, oh, hell no.
Yeah, I think that's the word that really tipped you over the edge. Like it did. Respiratory.
It did because, you know, Cooper has had the flu shot. He's had the flu 3 times this year. I can't risk, you know, him of all people. So just a little bit of information about Cooper. He was a super preemie. When I say super preemie, he was born at 25 weeks, 2 pounds. Now, I will say this. I am more afraid now than I was then delivering him. And I will explain why. And so then my beautiful daughter can also understand my fear. I didn't really know that nigga then. So, you know, I mean, granted, I'm just saying, like...
Are you speaking about your child?
I mean, like, he wasn't born. He didn't really have a personality. So I was, although I was fearful and didn't want anything to happen...
You had full control.
I didn't have any control over him being born early, but I knew nothing was wrong with me. And when he came out, he was screaming and crying. So I was like, oh.
No, I'm saying you have full control over his well-being unless the forces were to...
Right, yeah. Exactly. With this, it's like, we don't know what's going on. It's like...
in school,
and let me not be insensitive. When I say I didn't know that, he wasn't born. He didn't have a personality yet. Not saying if he was to go, I wouldn't have been sad, obviously. But I think... And don't give me no slack for this. I think I would have been able to deal with that a lot better instead of something happening to him now.
That makes sense.
Let me say that. Like, if something was to happen to him then, obviously I would have been devastated. But I think I would have been able to move on. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, God forbid, and thank you. I say thank you that it didn't, because he's a blessing to our family. He's bad as shit. The way he lives his life is the way he came into the world, without permission. And I love that about him. But right now, if something was to happen to him, I don't know.
And you would feel responsible.
Exactly. And again,
that makes sense, though.
God is in control. It's we don't know what we...
I think a lot of people calling on God right now. He tired of us.
You think so?
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
I think he took a little weekend off, probably. I think sometimes. I think he be taking breaks.
He's
too.
Like, you know what? Time out.
It's a lot. It's a lot of y'all calling me. I ain't talked to y'all in years.
You know what? Because y'all not listening. I'm telling y'all what to do, but you're not listening.
Right.
But yeah, but now... If something was to happen and I didn't do everything in my power to prevent it, then if we were just out here just living and out and all that other stuff, let me tell you, y'all, because AD was not about to come to my house, okay? We was about to do this interview via Skype.
They ain't got no service on Skype. Via Skype.
Yeah,
she tried to keep me outside on the ring, talking to me through the doorbell.
I mean, look.
Some hello. How may I help you, Amazon?
Do you feel feverish? Are you coughing? Yeah.
So, but that's understandable. As I feel like if I were in your shoes, at least with one kid, I would probably feel like, don't send them to school. Don't,
Oh yeah, because they've been out of school for 2 weeks.
But for me. But for me, it's like there's how many people in the world? 7.3 billion people.
A lot.
And if you want to do fractions, numbers can be fun sometimes. And I went to school. I did algebra, geometry. And if you divide a couple numbers, a couple of 100 people, a couple of 50 cases, 2 deaths and 3 deaths. I think the media is responsible for pushing the fear into the American people and into the world as it is. The whole reason for this entire lockdown and stuff like that makes sense. Like, it makes a lot of sense to us. It makes, the hospitals can't afford y'all coming in there. I got a cough. I think it's corona, and then trying to keep me overnight because you want to get the free med or whatever. Like, it, you know, it doesn't make any sense. Like, it makes sense as to why they want to keep everybody home and all that, but don't push the fear onto the people like you have been. And the media is in charge for it, because if you think about headlines, and I've made the mistake of believing every headline I've read as well too. Oh my gosh, I read this. But it's the fine print. I remember telling myself this year, I need to start reading the fine print, because then it's a play on words. Then it's like possibly, allegedly, coincidentally passed around the same time. You have to read the words. So everybody's not dying straight from corona. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not, everything that's been reported has not been corona based. What if somebody was already 6 months in the hospital, somebody came to visit, and granted, you know, that may have push them along, but they're not telling you their preconditions. They're not telling you this stuff. True. They're not telling you the ages of these people. 90 or old people, when people say old people and babies are dying, they're not telling you this stuff. They're just giving you numbers. And the numbers are what's going to scare people without doing the research and stuff like that. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't be concerned or we shouldn't be taking precautions to keep ourselves safe, but I will say that turn your phones off for a day or two. Turn the TV off for a couple of hours, okay? And live your life.
That's your advice.
Yeah.
I'm watching all the news, okay? I'm watching Fox, CNN, MSNBC. Okay, so I actually had that down. So he said he got tested. Now, see, I think Trump is very strategic in what he does. For example, he made sure to shake everybody's hand during that press conference. That man I've never... You saw that? Mm-hmm. That one was hilarious. But he made sure to shake everybody's hand. He's been in contact with somebody. Let me not... my notes might be wrong again.
He got a Lewinsky situation.
Right. You know, with somebody that was actually tested positive.
Hold on, wait. Where Melania from?
Melania.
Hold on, wait. Your wife, she need to be quarantined. Where is she from? We need to know.
But yeah, so I honestly don't think, one, I don't trust him. I think he's a liar. He's a narcissist. So, but true, and we've never seen that race before, so it's like, where did he come from?
He's like a tall Oompa Loompa.
He does look like
he's the same color. Like, you know, people like make fun of him. It's like he's orange, but no, legit watching him on the TV, he was like tangerine. Yeah, it's really crazy.
But I don't think he's the type of person that would do stuff on purpose to say, hey, you know, I've been around him and he has corona, so I don't have it, so it's, you know, it's not that big of a deal. And he's just a jerk. And I don't think he would tell us the truth even if he had corona. I really don't.
It wouldn't even be him. Other people would not tell us. Like, they would.
Oh, anybody in,
like, they will all, like, protect us from what, you know, unless something were to happen to him unexpectedly. God forbid. I don't wish that on nobody.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Unless something were to happen. But I don't personally believe if the president were to come in contact with corona and to catch it, that he would tell the world, or really, because then everybody would feel like, oh, now it's really real, you know? Yeah. But on average, the president probably comes in contact with more people than we do.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So it will make more sense. So.
I wonder, Tom Hanks. So they said that, you know, obviously Tom Hanks has it. When he was at the award show, remember he was coughing and hacking and all that stuff. And remember, corona was alive and well before we actually got whiff of it in China. Who knows where this man has been traveling to? And
but they say he contracted it in Australia. Like he caught it while he was out there.
I'll sip tea to that.
Right.
Mind your business. Yes, it's tea. So what have you been doing since this whole, like,
corona? Washing my hands to my favorite songs. baby. See? No, what did you look
I got
up?
that yum. They
had this diagram where you can type in like your favorite song.
It's called Wash Your Lyrics.
Wash Your Lyrics. It's like, I just flipped the switch.
Flip.
Hey, I don't know what it is. Why did something drop? Y'all still dirty though. And it's just
because I don't believe y'all are washing your hands today. Y'all are actually stopping and dancing like me.
Yeah. So I've been stopping people in the bathroom, reminding them to wash their hands. It's a little dirty. I ain't gonna call them out their name. I ain't gonna call them out their name, but yeah, there's a lot of women who flush and rush out the door. Okay.
Oh, that is so disgusting.
Flush and rush, and I will be the one in the stall on the outside. Hey, the sink works. Soap is in here. We should use it. I've stopped plenty of people like that before in this last 2 weeks.
And I'm going to say this again. I've said it on another episode. Y'all stop eating at McDonald's. That place is disgusting. They don't have push doors.
They don't have toilet seat covers.
They don't have push doors and they don't have paper towels. So everybody's not using their shirt to open the door. Do you know that every McDonald's was found with fecal matter on their touch screen? Stop eating at McDonald's. That place is disgusting. And no, yes, I understand. Fecal shit.
I'm about to throw up. Fecal?
This is what fecal matter look like.
Not fecal.
Look, and then it lands
right on your menu on your French fries.
And then you go like this.
Like what you say?
And then you go like this. Then you got pink eye.
Literally. I promise you, everybody I've seen with pink eye is like, shitty eyes. Like every single person now, I'm like, fecal.
Yeah.
Fecal me.
So we've been watching a lot of shows.
We have been.
Oh.
Because we quarantining and chilling.
13. 3 Identical Strangers is on Hulu. Please watch it. No, it's not scary, AD. It's not scary.
We'll see.
But watch it. It blows your mind. And it tells you how manipulative and how scary people actually are. But not scary in a type of way. Just scary like, oh.
Scared to push forward?
No, it's just, you got to watch it.
I do have to watch it. Watching something.
Oh, it's so good. If anybody has seen it, I stopped watching murder stuff. Sort of.
Murderers.
But 3 Identical Strangers is really good. I'm going to watch Hillary today.
That is an observation. This is off track. So I do have a job, right? Unfortunately. And I texted Vina the other day. I was like, wow. I was sitting at a table with a bunch of wives, women, older women of different ages, and all the wives were explaining how they watched the ID channel, all the murderous shows. And I'm like, what? Is this a trend? Because she was the only one that I knew beforehand that would do that, about like killing her husband. So y'all hide your kids.
No, see, I don't think about, now I do like the one that talks about how the wives killed their husbands.
But when did this interest start? Was it in 2013 around August? When did this interest start? I'm trying to figure it out.
I'm trying to think.
Trying to plot on my husband.
Let me think. No, it was before that, but I will say like the obsession came when I was pregnant with Thomas. When I was pregnant with Thomas and I was on bed rest early, I would watch all these like ID channel. And then when I was pregnant with Cooper, we started listening to the true crime podcast, which I will say is my favorite type of podcast. And I wanted to do a true crime podcast, but I'm afraid to because I don't want to unveil something that might get me killed. But I am so like intrigued, so much so that when I hear the podcast, I go do my own research on the people that are missing and the people that are involved within the case. Yes. Anything that is involving mental health, murder, I can deal with. Anything dealing with older people. Anything dealing with children, molestation, and anything like that, I can't watch. It makes my stomach upset.
What is it, Gabriel Fernandez? I don't know how people are watching.
Jaden watched the whole thing.
I can't do it. God bless
I think
you,
she watched the whole thing. I will say this. I think she slept with her lights on for like 3 days.
I mean, that's yeah, see, but I just can't. Like, that type of stuff is so evil and so cruel, and to even indulge yourself in the story, it's like you're giving this type of situation light, especially because from the previews that I saw, they didn't do anything to help the little boy.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are we going to do now that we watch it? Are we going to notice the bruises on the little boy and take him home or call the police? Or are we just watching it for information because it's an interesting story?
That's a good one.
Like
I think that's a show for another day, because I will say this: when Jaden was little, and we'll get into this another time. When Jaden was little, she had a sitter, Mima. She was amazing. Okay, great. Jaden was just very hard and didn't have any boundaries when it came to doing things. And Jaden had 2 black eyes from there. Now, Jaden, she wasn't abused. At least I don't think. She ain't never told me she was abused. Okay, so she was jumping on the bed, and she would always fall into dressers. Now, she did it at our house twice. One where she tripped and fell into the table, and she had a big gash. And then another time, she was playing with a dog and did the same thing and had a bruise. And the lady at the grocery store, I'll never forget this because I was so grateful for her, said she looked at me, she looked at Jaden. Jaden had this big ass black eye. And if I can find the picture, which I do have, I'll post it. She had this big black eye, and the lady looked at me. She looked at Jaden. She looked at me and she said, "Honey, how are you? Are you okay? What happened to your eye?" And I didn't say a word because I was so grateful that she had concerned. The balls to ask. Yeah, and people don't do that. And Jaden just looked at her, and Jaden looked at me, and I said, "Hey, talk to her. Tell her what happened." You know what I mean? Like, and she said, "Oh, I was jumping on the bed and I fell and I hit my eye and it hurt a little bit." Yeah, but I was very grateful for her, and I think we need more people like her. So shout out. Lady was in Giant in Maryland.
Yeah, they ain't gonna stop you down here in Kroger. They ain't.
Stop hating on the people in Kroger. Stop hating on the people in Kroger.
No, that is dope though, because you really don't get a lot of that. Like, you get the it looked like something ain't right over there. Like, say something.
Yeah.
Tell them to blink 3 times if they need help.
You know what? Yeah, the Gabriel, I want to watch it, and I keep passing it because, again, we're quarantined, not in the fact that we have corona, but we're quarantined in the fact that I'm not letting anybody in my house leave my house. Look, I done already told my daddy, I'm going to work. What? No, time out.
Like, you go to work, you ain't coming back.
We got tents. I'll set that joint outside for you.
Dang, how you gonna leave them outside?
That's what I told Jane. She's been trying to go to. I feel so bad. I do. She's been trying to go to the movies with her friends. Now we've been trying to force her, like, hey, bring your friends over. Hey, go out. Like, go to the mall. Sneak out. Do something. Go do something. She finally asked.
In the quarantine time.
Right. Corona.
In the corona time where people but if you think about it, it's because this is the first time they really had no school with nothing to do, you know. True.
And during all the breaks, she's in Maryland.
Yeah, and all the parents really need something for their kids to do in general.
But my thing is, so she has a friend that's really cool, but I wish, her, like you all growing up, you always have that friend whose mom is very skeptical about her going out and doing anything, especially if the mom is African or Haitian or Jamaican. They want you to hang out with other, that little light-skinned child over there.
Yeah.
She don't look right. You know what I mean? That American, say it in your Liberian voice.
What?
That American girl there.
That American get it.
Yeah, you can't go outside with her. She looked fast, you know what I mean? But I was telling Jaden, if you invite invite your friends over with the parents and stuff like that, then if they get to know us, then you guys will be able to do whatever you want. Like, let her mom come see that,
where you live. They don't do that in Georgia. Like, unless they know you already, and it's like, okay, or they see the child.
We've been here since kindergarten.
Yeah, but they don't come together like it was. Like, and it's even so strange because being in Maryland where we had so much public transportation and stuff like that,
parents were always together. Yeah,
parents were always together. It was a community. My mom wouldn't let me go somewhere unless she had the parents' phone number, stuff like that. Like, okay, even if she never met them, hey, let me call her before. This is what she said y'all were doing. Let me make sure I speak to somebody. But down here, it's like, hey,
yeah, nah, and rightfully so. Like, this little girl's mom, I don't blame her at all, but like, let her come see your parents. That your parents, like, they're both African, you know, like, yes. There's so many haters in this world on my African heritage. Yes. But yeah, like, let them come see that your parents are African and all that stuff, Ghanaian. Like, I know how to cook food. I know how to cook okra.
Yep.
Palava sauce.
When you made that?
Really?
I ain't had it before.
Fufu and soup.
Right.
But like, let them come over and see that your parents are cool. One of your parents is African. Your other one is African and American. So you cool, you know? Mm-hmm. So anyway, back to this whole corona thing.
Yes, Corona is cheap. Go get y'all some.
I wonder if the prices on Corona beer has gone down.
I was in Publix. This man had a whole cart full. He said Corona and chill, like quarantine and chill. Like, he was like, everybody's buying tissue. I don't get it, but this is what's on sale.
What is the thing with toilet paper?
People think they're going to be in their house shitting all day.
Like, does Corona give you diarrhea?
And are y'all buying baby wipes, nasty asses?
Right. I went to the beauty supply store.
Why?
Because I want to play and make up.
On your quarantine day. Fine as wine. Chilling and stuff.
Yeah, like, I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't understand the toilet paper thing, but I can't. Hey, I'm a part of the trend too. I had it in my trunk, slinging toilet paper out the trunk, though. I done sold 2 packs.
We should throw a party and be like, oh, to get in, roll of toilet paper.
You know, it would be petty if somebody's house got TP'd around this time. Like, what?
Whoa.
You're really going to waste all this good quarantine paper?
I just don't get the toilet paper thing.
Yeah,
like,
that's a weird thing.
There's socks, there's washcloths. Like, you run out of toilet paper, you're cool. But what about... She said
socks, y'all.
I'm just saying.
She said socks, y'all.
Dryer sheets.
Y'all, throw y'all socks away, hide them. Because she is wiping with the socks.
I'm saying, the back of the Bible has plain paper.
Nanny boo boo, I'm shitting on you.
Just kidding. God forgive me.
There's other pages. Like, I'm just
and they're thin too. If you go like
good
this,
old
they probably
tissue paper. But no, seriously, hard times call for hard measures. Or desperate times call for desperate measures. That's what they say, right? Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, like, y'all, tissue is not gonna save y'all.
Yeah, like,
I don't get the tissue thing either. But people, I think the first thing they think is like in the house. Like, why y'all not buying paper towels?
Yo, at Sam's Club, there was no paper towel. There was no toilet paper. There was no type of Lysol or anything like that. I actually purchased vinegar.
You smart.
Vinegar, because even though it says it's not a disinfectant, my thing is we clean our fruits and vegetables with it because it gets rid of the pesticides. So it might not get rid of viruses according to like the FDA and stuff like that, but I don't trust them no way. That's why all my vitamins say not FDA approved. What? Are we not allowed to say that?
Don't get us cut off air. No, seriously, I really don't know what that means, honestly.
Food Drug Administration. So they make the food, they make the drugs, you eat the food, you need the drugs, and they administer it all to you.
So you like things that aren't FDA approved?
When it comes to my vitamins and stuff, yes.
That's why I don't take them.
I didn't take prenatal vitamins.
I heard you should crush those up and put them in your shampoo so they can be like make your hair longer.
I don't need none of that stuff in my follicles. Again, if it says FDA, if it says FDA, if it says let me not say that. I'm not gonna say anything about the FDA. I appreciate them helping us with our food and our drugs and administering it all. Like,
doesn't she sound like she got a gun to her back and she got to say that?
Thank you. And we have the Bibles on the table, so we just want to say
we're gonna say
you.
thank you to the FDA for all your support and trying to, mass produce.
We're also gonna say thank you to the CDC that's here in Georgia, where HIV and AIDS is running rapid. So we just want to say thank you. Thank you for administering all of the stuff. Administration.
I'm so ignorant sometimes.
I'm just saying the CDC is right here.
And they ain't doing nothing. They probably off work too.
The CDC.
They quarantine too. They like, okay, yeah, CDC. They got the open sign, but nobody's there.
What I will say is thank you to all the doctors and nurses and the pharmacists and I went to the pharmacy to go get medications, and when I say they were swamped and tired, and I can only imagine what the doctors and the nurses and what
the hospitals in general are going through.
And the supplies, like they're running out. Like, again, I think we should take go down the list, like go online, do your research. Just because you have a cough or a sneeze, it's also allergy season, especially down here in the South. Like, if you have a fever that's with a cough or a sneeze, it doesn't mean that you have to run to the hospital unless you have some type of other condition. I think for kids, if you have some other condition, but if you have the necessary stuff, your Theraflu, your whatever,
because that's what they said, treat the symptoms that you have.
Like make some fufu, make some pepper soup, make some fufu, sit your ass down and eat it.
Ginger ale, they done came out with a bold flavor.
There you go. Ginger ale. Like, drink a lot of water. Take your probiotic. Like, clean your system out. Just because you have maybe symptoms doesn't mean that you have to run to the hospital. But make sure that you're not infecting anyone else around you. And
see, that's kind of tricky, because I know some hypochondriacs and they will go to the hospital, and it's like
I'm one of them.
You got a doctor's appointment every week. Going to the doctors.
Look, I got one hurt, one pain, one anything. Excuse me,
hello,
doctor. Right,
doctor. But I feel bad for them in this sense, for the panic and being told nothing's wrong, go home. Because I can only imagine how many cases they're probably dismissing so early, because they probably want you to come to the hospital when you're on your bed. Like when you're already halfway sick. Because they don't have
there are no resources.
Yeah.
There are no resources. Right now in Italy, they said that they have more beds and more hospitals, but they are full to capacity than the United States and have less people than what we have.
Well, that's because they got on it early. They shut them down quick.
Yeah, but they're full. They're full. All their beds and stuff are full. I can only imagine what's going on there. They're only able to test about 50 people or something.
I won't say it's new, but think about all the people who already have pre-existing conditions and have to deal with, like, going to the hospital, getting treated regularly. Like, I'm glad I don't know any really. Well, I do know some really old people, but not sickly.
Sick.
Yeah, I don't know any really sickly old people. Like, I'm so grateful for that, because I would have been like,
amen.
Oh, nah.
Yeah. Like I would say, like my parents are up there. I mean, you would never know, but my dad is about to turn 75, and my mom's about to turn 66, I think. And I'm not worried about them at all. But I wouldn't put them at risk. You know what I mean? Because it's predetermined conditions is diabetes or high blood pressure or anything like that can trigger something else. So I just think, be mindful of what you're doing.
It's the fear of the unknown.
I think that's what it is.
You don't know where it's coming from, how it's being transmitted, how people carry themselves, if they really wash their hands, if people are actually disinfecting. Because to disinfect something, I learned this when I started, I like to clean, right? But there's a difference between cleaner and disinfecting something. Yes. And I didn't realize that. So
people now know that Fabuloso is not a disinfectant.
Fabuloso doesn't do anything.
I mean, it smells
it's
cool.
a nice scent.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, but it doesn't really do anything.
It doesn't do anything. Put it in your toilet bowl, make it fresh, but it definitely smells like Fabuloso. Bing! It's like pine salt. Pine salt, I used to love the smell of pine salt, but it's definitely just pine salt.
I hate the smell of pine salt.
It smells like Dettol too. But it's like,
I bet you Dettol is a
there's
disinfectant.
a difference. Like once you clean something, you should also disinfect it.
Yeah.
Cleaning is not disinfecting something. Cleaning is removing dirt and debris, okay? When you're washing your hands, you're removing dirt and debris, maybe germs as well. But the hand sanitizer, once you let it air dry on your surface for at least 60 seconds is when you're disinfecting. So if you're spraying something, let it sit. People are asking, should I get the spray Lysol or the wipes? The wipes wouldn't be bad, but it has to stay saturated for a certain amount of time for it to be considered disinfected. So I would say the spray is better.
Yeah.
So y'all make y'all decisions wisely. Personally, I don't think Lysol will be the only thing either. I mean, of course, that's what they're saying. And I'm sure Lysol's happy about it. Like, oh, yeah, this is what we need. But you can probably disinfect, like you said, with the vinegar. Have it sitting on the counter for a long period of time. And don't worry, the scent goes away.
It's not, yeah.
It neutralizes stuff.
It does.
Like, it really does neutralize stuff. The stuff goes away. But for me, it's just bleach it down.
Yeah, and
I love
bleach. Like, you know, a little bit of bleach and water goes a long way. Like,
that's what they say. The cap full to the gallon. Fill that bottle halfway up with that bleach. Fill that bottle halfway up. Don't let them tell you one cap full. They are lying. Okay, you need more.
Do your research. Okay,
you need more than that. What is that gonna do?
A cap
full of bleach to a gallon of water.
Hey, what I need to go do is get y'all some of that moonshine.
That'll disinfect
that Tucky moonshine right there. Okay, that Tucky moonshine.
Gonna be scared of you.
What? Like, moonshine a day keeps the corona away.
For real, but seriously though, like, you know, play with your portions. I don't believe in a cap full, but you know,
I don't either. Yeah,
that doesn't even make any sense. That's like put up to the third quarter line on your laundry detergent. You tried it.
One pod is all you need.
Right.
No.
One pod.
Have you seen my kids?
Literally.
All three of them?
I used to think the pods were a good idea until I realized I need like 3 or 4 for certain loads.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, this is cool, but this is starting to be a waste of money.
Yeah, the pods.
Yeah. You're better off getting a really big liquid and pouring your caps or whatever. They stretch further. Now, the fact that they have other things in them, cool. If you live by yourself, one little small washer and dryer, you wash clothes every day, makes sense. But when you got loads, them pods run quick.
Yeah, they definitely do.
Yeah. So disinfect your lives, wash your hands. Dawn is cleaning it, but not disinfecting it.
That's true.
You're dirty. Clorox, bleach.
And if you have a dishwasher, a lot of times on the dishwasher, there is a sanitized setting. Or don't be afraid to just throw a cap full. Now, you can do that in your dish water. If you do not have a dishwasher, it's cool.
Who wash their dishes with bleach?
What?
I said, who doesn't wash their dishes with bleach?
A lot of people, I'm sure. Put a cap full of in your dish water. Also with your kids, and this may seem crazy, but you can also put a cap full into your bath water for your kids. Just make sure they don't drink the water like my kids, so I wasn't able to do it anymore. But yeah, you can put a cap full of bleach into the
No, we're not bleaching the kids, y'all.
Yeah, but it it sanitizes. Do you put it on their faces and stuff like that? No, but just a little bit, it does not hurt.
Disinfect, smell good. Smell
renewed. I don't think bleach smells that good, but just some
I do. I don't know why. I like the smell of bleach, gas, all that.
I think bleach to me smells sour. Like every time I clean my tub with the bleach, it has that sour smell.
The bleach smell with it has to be ventilated and it has to be really cold. That's when it starts to smell fresh. If it's hot and you're cleaning with bleach, it smells like chemicals. Yeah. But if it's being filtered out through air, wind, fans, and stuff like that, it can make a space smell like it can neutralize the space and make it smell really good.
Yeah. So real quick, one, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube page.
Hey, subscribe.
You can see our faces now on every episode. You look very nice.
Oh, thank you.
So
tell me.
Make sure you comment, like, tell a friend. Our last video got over 8,000 views on it, which was
shout out to Vic Blends, our first celebrity.
And he told us,
go check that out. Seriously, it was a really good interview. He's 20 years old, bro.
Very motivational. Very motivational. Yeah, that was really, really dope.
Good teeth.
Nice
smile.
He and then so we're really excited about that. Again, it's a podcast about everywhere, or if you don't see a podcast about, you can type in APAN Podcast. So it's APAN Podcast, and we should pop right up. And just a few statistics. So to date, there are 162,000 cases of corona
in
worldwide.
Mm-hmm. Now, this is a comparison to the 7.3 billion people there are in the world. Keep that in mind, people.
I'm so scared. Okay.
Keep that in mind.
There have been 6,068 deaths. But we have a lot of sick and old people. That's including all the people that have passed in Italy, and and then recovered, though, which is great, is 75,968 recovered cases. So, we're all hopeful. I'm trying to feel better about the whole situation. It is, it's kind of hard with kids and really, 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 really old parents and siblings. They're
from
really,
the numbers I got
really old.
when my brother, I was talking about it with my brother. We concluded that there's about a 7% mortality rate, which is still high for something that's so unknown. That's what I feel like is scaring all of us.
That's the fear. You don't know how it's being transmitted. You hear one.
We really don't. I don't really know what it is. I've heard bats, Asians, Italy, banned in Europe. No Africans, all American.
I will say,
like, that's a lot.
Yeah.
What is it? Where is it coming from? And what are they doing in South America? What are they doing out there?
Yeah, which is crazy.
Because I never hear anything about Colombia, Brazil. Nobody out there. What are they doing?
It's crazy that it's called South America, and they're considered Mexicans.
No, Mexicans are considered Mexicans.
Just kidding.
Even though I think Mexicans are Native Americans, but that's a conversation.
They're all Native Americans, but
that's why you can't dye their hair for real.
Okay, we're gonna.
What Native American you know with blonde hair?
A lot. All my cousins.
What Native Americans you know with blonde hair?
We're from the Cherokee tribe.
No, seriously, this girl was telling me it's really hard to dye their hair. That's why they don't do it, because their strands are so thick and so dark they can't. The color doesn't lift. It doesn't.
Well, that's what's wrong with my hair.
Go ahead, poker. Young poker.
And just to compare it a little bit, because our family has said malaria, corona what?
Corona who?
Right.
If you from the west side of that Africa, baby.
We've had malaria.
They said if you have malaria, you ain't worried about nobody's corona. You better open that honey can and call it a day. That is funny, but no, I will say I could tell my aunt is so ecstatic, because I will say Auntie Didi's the only person since I was a child who used to enforce disinfecting, not just cleaning. Everybody had to clean, but after them parties, after everything, she was the only one worried about touching everything, cleaning up everything. So I know she having a field day right now. I told y'all niggas. I know she is. Like, what? I've been trying to tell y'all for years. Wash your hands. Wipe the doorknobs. Don't touch nobody.
Yeah.
So this is your time to shine, girl. Rock on.
Go ahead, Auntie Didi, with your disinfectant, okay? Go ahead with that disinfectant.
I know she's having a field day, but...
So just to talk about one more thing, malaria. There are 1.3 million deaths per year from malaria. Mindful that probably the people that are getting it and passing it, they don't have the medical attention or the resources to get cured. But that's 250,000 deaths per month. 80% of that being on the continent of Africa. So just to put things into perspective for those of us who
you can honestly at this point, not saying it won't get worse or it won't spread or it's not moving rapidly, but there are so many other statistics of things that can kill you at the moment. You can go outside and get into a car accident. I don't wish that on anybody, but the tolls are higher for that, and I'm not saying that I'll give it to America for the shutdown thing and what they're trying to do, because I do think they're taking the proper measures to try to shut things down and control the hospitals, like I said, because that essentially to me is the only reason that this is happening. But you guys don't live in fear. There's things going on outside, like you can fall in a ditch, there's sinkholes, People are crazy. They can't drive. Trust me, I know.
Ditches and sinkholes.
I'm saying there's so many ways. Like, y'all watch that show, 1001 Ways to Die.
Oh no, I don't. I can't.
You haven't, like, all the freak accidents. There's so many things that could happen. I'm not saying don't be safe. So
only interested in murder.
Hey, this can be my beauty tip of the day.
Oh, beauty tip of the day.
Right. Wash your hands. Yeah, wash your hands and don't touch your face.
Sing happy birthday.
You touch your face, that McDonald's fecal is on your hands.
Ooh, you got doo-doo face.
Literally, don't touch your face. Like, just don't do it. Don't even touch yourself. Just wash your hands.
Yeah, make sure you wash your hands.
Don't touch nobody. Don't touch me. Don't touch V. Don't touch us.
Yeah, don't touch us.
You can't see us no way.
Yeah.
Don't touch me.
Yeah, and be safe. Be safe.
Be safe. Be mindful. Be considerate.
That's very important.
Yeah.
Consideration. Yeah. Be very considerate.
And recognize that if you do have a cough or a sneeze these days, yes, I will look at you funny. I will look at you side eye, especially the 3 consecutive ones. Yeah, we don't do those. You better catch it at 2 and call it a day.
Yeah,
2 black shoes is all you get from me.
Or you better say, dang, these allergies.
Yeah. And
my eyes
isn't
are
it
just
so messed up that it's allergy season too? Like, I feel so bad for people because I suffer from allergies. So when it starts happening for me.
Oh, y'all heard that sniff, right? Doing too much already. She need to carry her ass home.
I suffer from allergies, but if it gets like bad, like, I feel bad for myself because I already know I go through it. So I'm really not going to be able to come over no more.
She not. Look, we're going to be recording through Ring. Right. Okay? Hey, AD, you ready?
Imagine being on the outside of the dope.
All right. Yeah. So be safe.
Stay safe, guys. Be mindful. Spread the word. Spread the news. Save a kid.
And that's real. That's real.
Just that on that.
Yeah. Just be considerate of other people. You may not be afraid of catching it, but just think of all the people that you may come back to and spread it if you get it. You are 100% healthy. I am very healthy. I am not afraid of getting it myself. I'm afraid of bringing it back to my household. So, yeah.
That's considerate.
Yeah, be considerate of other people. And hopefully this transfers to what I say all the time, protecting each other.
That's
the people,
what we need more of.
Yeah, protecting each other. And I say it all the time. Consideration of other people, but protecting each other as human beings.
And don't get offended because people don't want to shake your hand. Because I've been walking around with a tissue in my hand sometimes when I'm like walking in places and people are like, what? You're going to shake my hand with that? Yeah. You know, I'm not fearful, but I ain't stupid either. You know?
Just bow.
Different greetings.
Hey.
Ain't no labis. We're not kissing anything.
No. Yeah.
Keep your dogs in the house.
Can animals get it? They can?
Yep.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
They most definitely can. So.
But it's not airborne. It's droplets, right? So
droplets of what?
Can I go jogging? Because I don't jog anyway, but all of a sudden I have the need to.
You can go outside. You just can't breathe too hard. You can't breathe too hard. You can't really.
Don't look at other people.
Don't really get too close to them.
Mm-hmm.
Don't really touch them. You brush and wash your clothes. You know. They get too close to you, they may have it. So just every time somebody takes a step forward, you take one back. Do stuff like that.
That sounds good.
Right.
So, as you guys know, we do 2 shots and the truth.
Dun, dun, dun.
2 shot. Oh.
Oh.
You want to pick?
Out of the mystery box.
Out of the mystery box.
All right.
Oh, okay.
How many truths we got?
2.
You read one, I read one. Let's see. If I don't like the question, I'm throwing it back. Nope. Don't like it. Because I don't get it. I don't know what I don't watch those type of things. What yours say? This is funny.
Mine is not really funny, but.
What is it?
That's boring.
Boring. All right. So this one isn't really. This is funny though. If you were offered $50,000 to dance for 2 minutes with no music in front of a stadium full of people, would you do it? And what type of dancing would you do?
Oh,
definitely would do it, and I will be twerking for to have heaven's dear God.
What?
Dropping down and getting my ego on. Okay?
You said for 50,000?
Yeah. In a stadium full of people for 2 minutes with no music. Oh, I can do the Macarena.
Oh, that's a good one.
Or a cha-cha slide, because everybody would join me.
Oh, that's a good one.
Or the wobble. Oh, I can do a line dance. I definitely would do it.
Yeah, that's
somebody
a good
would
one.
catch on.
Because you would
Give
have
me
to...
my money.
You can't see it. It's electric. Boogie, woogie, woogie. It's electric. Boogie, woogie, woogie. Everybody.
It's electric. Yeah.
Boogie, woogie. Oh, that's a good idea.
2 minutes? That's all I need? Most definitely.
Ooh.
I feel like I need to take my shot.
Ooh, yes.
Cheers.
All right. Would you want to live in a world where everyone's thoughts appeared as text above their heads?
Hell no. Because I end up start swinging on people's domes. It's like, nah, I feel like people will swing on me too because I think crazy stuff.
What? No. Absolutely not.
Would you want to know what everyone was thinking?
Hell no.
If you could have a superpower, what would it be? And it had to deal with your human communication.
Human communication.
Or human contact. Like, what would you be invisible?
I was just about to say I would be invisible.
I wouldn't. Because I'll still be clumsy, I feel like, sometimes. Tripping over shit. The ghost just fall in your backyard.
I would want to be invisible because I would pick with people. That would be the highlight of my day. I would be invisible and be like...
Would I want to know what people were thinking?
No.
No. Not if I couldn't control it. That's my problem. I like to be in control. So if I just knew what you were thinking...
And you could change the thoughts?
And I can change your thought or like put something implemented in your mind or like give you something to throw in with it, I would do that. But just to know what people were thinking, it would piss me off.
Yeah, nah. I wouldn't want to know what people were thinking. I wouldn't want to see the future, although I think it would be really helpful. And I definitely wouldn't want to... I would be invisible, which is kind of like I would be able to snoop.
Like a fly on the wall?
Yeah, like a fly on the wall. But mainly I would pick on people.
That's cool.
Childish.
What would I do? Yeah, I think I would. I wouldn't want to know what people are thinking. I don't think I would want to be invisible. I think I would want to orb into different places. So not necessarily be invisible, but like, oh, you said what? I'm about to pull up. And boom. What you say? That's what I want.
Childish. So on that note, we thank you guys for listening. She trying to still fight people. Yes. Thank y'all. Make sure you subscribe. Again, a podcast about everywhere. Leave the mask and the medical supplies for the people. Yeah. And yeah. So anyway, love y'all.
I ain't leaving no mask or medical supplies for people to try to get me.
Oh no, be good to the people.
Nah, for real. Why did I do this? This is hot, y'all. Stop doing this. Stop doing it. Y'all look crazy.
Oh man,
we love y'all.
Yeah,
it's been real.
It's been
Stay
real.
safe. Hand sanitize. Wash your face.
Yeah.
Tell your grandmas and moms you love them.
Yeah, y'all. Talk to the people you ain't talked to. Anyway, we out, and that's real.
Love y'all.
Love you too. Bye.
No, we love them.
I love you too.